I'm hearing the train coming. I'm looking at the time and it's saying it's like 2 minutes away. So I'm screaming down the platform saying, get security, call security.
She was on the
train tracks.
Oh. I just feel like there's a lot of people online that just learn big words.
Yeah.
And make a bunch of threads on Twitter.
They're the most annoying
And it's
people.
like, they're going to be like, the paralysis of the men in the specificities of the... like, what are you saying?
I feel like we'd have a lot less problems in this world if people actually cared about other people. Like, if we genuinely cared to the point where it's like, oh, okay, cool. I've seen this happen. It's a problem for me. Maybe I can't do everything. I can do this. And He's starting.
Welcome.
Hi, welcome back
to the Talk That Talk podcast.
Yes, I'm Sagesse.
I'm Theresa, and today we have a
special guest.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Like, oh shit. You know when you've got a script in your head and you forget what you can...
Like when you said hi already, you know.
Yeah. This is the most like structured she's been. I'm like, okay, Sagesse.
Honestly, listen.
She's like, hi, so today.
Yeah, like, you know,
she's
you
ready.
want to make a good impression on
the
guests,
guest.
you know,
like
we want you to feel welcome.
Oh, I feel welcome, trust
and
me,
comfortable and all of that. But yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. Like today, our topic, and then obviously we can move past that. And then there's other things that you mentioned that I've really felt. Has she mentioned it to you?
Probably not. I don't.
Probably not. But we could get into it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I like being surprised. That's my style.
I've already got some definitions on here. So what we're going to be talking about.
This is ready.
What we're going to be talking about today is a little bit. At the beginning, on our first episode, how we was talking about what an influencer is and what influencing is. Well, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't say I'm surprised because, this was kind of like what I was speaking about. But now there's an example of it. And there's a few actually that we want to talk about. So I'm going to give, you the chance to sort of explain why you're here and what we're going to be talking about today. And, just introduce yourself. And
Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Alia. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Essex. Basically, as like a lot of people probably know, there's like an influencer called the Slumflower. It's better if I actually get the tweets up.
1 second, I think you might want to be a bit closer.
I'll turn it up.
Is it?
Yeah.
This influencer called the Slumflower, who is basically a black female from London, who claims to advocate for female rights when we've clearly seen, I guess, but clearly a man hater at the same time, and she's made quite a few tweets that are just very ill, basically just really bad tweets that she shouldn't have basically been saying. So one of the main things that we was going to talk about was a part that she said, if men are committing suicide because they can't cry, how's it my concern? I don't know if you can want to add in whenever you want, but just
I feel like it should be everybody's concern at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because, the way that she was kind of going on about it and the way that she talks about it is kind of like, it's as if she was disregarding that. Like, oh, I stand for women's rights, whatever has to do with men, it doesn't matter. Like, I shouldn't be the one speaking about it. But even if you don't want to be the one speaking about it, don't say anything at all, because I feel like you can kind of send the wrong message to people.
Definitely. I just want to ask you, like, when you saw that tweet, like, how did that trigger you?
Basically, with like my immediate family, mental health is something that's been quite close to us with certain situations that have happened that have actually maybe pushed people to want to have suicidal thoughts, not want to, but had suicidal thoughts. Even like when I've posted up on Instagram and people were talking and supporting me and stuff with what I said, I had 2 people or 3 people actually that have a lot of respect and care for, whether they're in music and one that I actually used to work with, who've said that their own best friends or family members have actually killed themselves, and family members. And I just thought that for them to turn around and actually have witnessed that tweet with something that's so traumatic for them, she's had complete disregard and completely non-empathetic at all to people's emotions. And I get, if you want to put a point forward that you're saying that
her priority
women's
is
rights,
women, blah, blah.
Like, I just don't feel like she should have said it like that. Like, it's so unnecessary.
But I feel like her style has always been the extreme. Yeah, but and that's what's got her the attention that she has. Yeah. So she's running with it. But then there comes a point where you need to need to reel it in a little bit, because in some of her campaigns, I'm so here for it, like the saggy boobs movement and all this body pose. Like I'm so like.
But then I just feel like it's just kind of hypocritical. Like you can't say that you're for the people and this is how you act. Like if you care about women, you'll understand that some women have husbands, some women have dads, some women have boyfriends, have brothers, and those women care about those men in their lives just as much as you care about those women who have those men in their life. So if something was to happen to the people that they care about, do you not think that it would affect these women that you say that you stand for? So how can you go about it, even think about it in that way? It's like, I don't feel like you care about people, you more so care about yourself and like what you can gain from being like triggering this.
People,
like
getting women to be like, I feel like sometimes we need to be careful with the people that we follow and stuff, because a lot of people don't do things from a place of love. They do things from a place of anger and a place of like trauma. And
she needs to heal.
I know
she needs to heal.
No, because it's like not even on a, like, if you ever hear this, Chidera, like, please understand.
Like, we can talk to you. We can help you.
That is not a statement that can come from a place of love and you trying to help and uplift people
like at all.
No matter what religion you follow, faith, nothing. That atheist, it don't matter. You can't say something like that and tell me you care what? Like, even if you don't, your men is not your target audience for your business and for your campaign. What? Like,
when it's a matter of like life and death, it's such a delicate topic. There could have been someone that actually read the tweet that's actually had suicidal tendencies.
Look, for example, you know what, we the first episode that we did, and there was that girl that contacted me. Theresa made a video about mental health, like on her personal channel, and there was a girl who I've been working with. I'm not going to say her name, obviously. But she contacted me about that. I'm so happy that you guys are working together. Watching Theresa's video really helped me. I was on the verge, of like committing suicide, and it just kind of like talks. I've got receipts, like I can show you receipts. Like, this is not something that's made up. I sent it to Theresa. Theresa saw it herself, and she was mind blown. And that just shows you, as much as sometimes you just do something. You don't small. You don't think that this is gonna have an impact on someone, but everything that you does have like has a ripple effect to it, kind of thing. So she probably wasn't thinking, someone might see this and will feel like, I've saved them. But that's how she's literally felt. So you know what you're saying, like about all of this, like someone seeing it and being triggered by it. What if someone did see it and went and fuck it, like I've been dealing with it, like people don't care, women don't care, like why am I here? Do you know what I mean?
I've seen like a bit of a conversation with men saying how like it's hard. You come online and people are like bashing you. At first, I thought it was really funny. Like I was just like, whatever. Like, but now I feel like it could be quite draining for men to come online.
I had men even message me saying she's gonna make all men hate you guys because of what she's advocating, and so many women actually coming out supporting. We're like, we're not all like that.
You're gonna need to please.
It's not fair. It's like when there's trash guys and then the good guys are in the background, like, oh my god, like you're making all of us look bad. And that's not the case. But like I'm just really appalled, and I just feel like things just should be like people should be a little bit more mindful,
more considerate
about it's just sort of like, okay, cool, even if you felt that way, you didn't need to come like and put that on social media. Like, keep it to yourself. You go and be bitter alone. Like, do that in your room. Like, just don't write in your diary, write it in your diary. You don't actually need, not everything that you think and feel, the whole world must know how you think and feel about things.
I just feel like there's a lot of people online that just learn big words and make a bunch of threads on Twitter.
They're the most annoying
and it's
people.
like they're gonna be like the paralysis of the men in the specificities of the like, what are you saying?
No, honestly,
what are you saying? Sometimes I see threads and I'm like,
I can't read this. Like, I don't understand.
I'm a university educated. Next. Like, stop throwing around these big words. Really read into social sciences. Like, if you're that interested in psychology, go and study it. Like, stop. Like, please. Like, calm down. Like, everybody needs to just calm down. Like, because I feel like we are like, even though we had a conversation last week, and I don't like slandering my generation because I don't think we're that bad. Nonetheless, I do feel like we're a generation that we think that we're doing a lot by sitting online. and being invited to, and this is not necessarily just in regards to the Slumflower, going to speak at events, being a speaker, and we think we're doing the most. We ain't doing that much. We're not doing as much as our parents did.
Oh my God, if you see some of the activists that exist and what they're actually doing, it's a whole nother level.
We're not doing, so we're just going to throw around big words with issues at the ends and go to speak at a couple of events, get flown out and think, no, calm down. What are you actually doing? Why are you doing it?
No, show to people who are actually doing those
bits.
things
There's plenty of people doing
and
it.
actually, you know, making a difference. But like, I feel like sometimes, like what you're saying, like it can get to people's heads, and like you just have to be humble in like whatever stage you get to, because I know for a fact that if she didn't have all these people, you know, cheering her on and be like, yeah, you know, you go sis, she wouldn't feel as confident to come on social media and say it's because she knows that she has a following, that people, whatever she posts on there, someone's going to support it. She's built herself a fan base so strong.
Some people called it like a cult like
this
following.
I said this
Yeah,
last year, and I was thinking, are people actually going to wake up and see she's actually got traits of a
actually a
cult
bit
leader?
wild,
It's
not
really
gonna lie.
wild. It's really wild.
It's true though, like when you actually think about it, it's like, because she's got a following, people are gonna, you know, stand by her, and it's so toxic. And I feel like some people are like that. It's like, you know, because they feel like, oh yeah, you know, I can say this and I know people are gonna back me up on it, even if they think that I'm wrong, because they love me, they're gonna do it. But it's just so toxic. Like
And I think she had one of her influencer friends reach out to her and I think say to her like, you need to calm down, like, and then she replied to her friend like, oh, here's like the link to a therapist or something. Yeah, like, did you guys not see that?
I need to
online?
see it. Can you pull it up, please?
Fam, like, she literally, like, one of her influencer friends was like, girl, you need to, you know, pipe it down, reel it in a little bit. You don't need to go about this way. And then she sent her a link to a therapist. And then the friend posted the DM and was like, I can't believe this. I'm so disappointed in her. Like, I've always supported her. And this is how she reacts to someone trying to come to her in private with love. And she's, I don't know,
If we're talking about therapists, I saw one girl, whether it's true or not, that said, I went to one of Slumflower's events like from years ago. Because I'm not going to lie, 5+ years ago, I thought she was amazing. She embodied like black power, like that 70s kind of vibe. She had an afro out. Like, I absolutely loved it. And then she turned around and said, yeah, I went to one of her first events. Apparently, don't take my word for it.
I think.
Yeah, apparently she's the way that she is because she was seeing a guy for 3 months. That ended.
And it didn't work out. I saw that.
It took like a year and a half.
And some boys are like, oh, we need to find him. He's got the power.
He's the reason why this is happening. And yeah, it took her a year and a half to get over. And now that's why she claims to be a feminist, but she's a complete misandrist. She's a complete man hater. She just needs to heal. Like, there's nothing else to it. I'm not even saying this to be funny because of last week. She genuinely needs.
We were saying how telling someone to heal is very disrespectful.
She needs to. Some people.
Sometimes you just need to be told.
A lot of people on social media just need to heal. Like, they need healing.
For
like,
real.
Take care of your mental health. Take care of your soul. Like, because I feel like if you're like this, there's clearly something going on in the inside of you that is not okay.
I feel like it's a self-sabotage.
For real. So for you to come
Right
out
now,
and say things like this
and think it's okay.
You're not okay.
Because I think even with the suicide thing, it was quite triggering for me, and I don't like talking about it, but years and years ago when I had completely no contact with my family or anything, I actually had suicidal tendencies, and it was something that really like corrupted my mind for ages, and I'm thankful that I'm out of that place now. And then I just look at them tweets and I think, whether I'm a man or woman, you should be caring about everyone's mental health. And there's been a time where I've actually stopped someone from killing themselves on a train station.
Wow.
For real?
Which was literally the most... I spoke about it a bit on my Insta Snap. I did a live and then I deleted it because I thought I'm not really articulating in the best way.
Yeah.
But there was basically briefly a woman just walked up to the train tracks, went onto the train tracks. I could hear the train come in and I was literally just screaming the platform. And I actually had a guy that was next to me that was trying to help her, saying, you need to come off the platform, I'm hearing the train coming. I'm looking at the time, it's saying it's like 2 minutes away. So I'm screaming down the platform saying, get security, call security.
She was on the
train tracks. She was on the train tracks and her books and stuff were left aside.
How weird is that? Sorry to quit you. That we was actually speaking
about that. Oh my God. Anyway, go on.
And then I'm literally seeing the train lights come in, and luckily, obviously, security's come. The train's actually stopped at that point, and we've managed to actually pull her off, me and this guy.
Oh my God.
And I pulled her to the side. I'm like, why did you do that for? And this was a time where I actually had suicidal tendencies in my head.
Yeah.
And I just sat her and said, why are you doing this for? Like, what's going on? She said, I'm a teacher. I think she was a bit drunk as well, I'm not going to lie. She's like, I'm a teacher. I'm stressed at work. People do this every day.
Oh, bless her.
And it got to, I was just so numb to the fact that you was actually about to do that. And I've had thoughts like yourself and you've been in this black hole, whether you're a man or woman. I had a guy next to me that tried to help you as well and that pulled you off. And then another guy came along, an elderly man, and said, look, I'll stay with her, it's fine. And security were trying to help her, whatever it may be. He said, oh, go home. These were like the last couple of trains as well.
Yeah.
And before it all happened, something in my head told me, walk down to the end of the platform.
Oh, for real?
No joke. Something said, walk down to the end of the platform. And these are the last couple of trains, so I walked down.
Yeah.
And then even when I'm screaming like security and stuff, there's no one, people have seen her walk on the tracks and they're not doing anything. They're just oblivious to not oblivious.
The thing is, in London, it's like we do have this dirty, nasty, humanless tendency to just be so like intentionally ignorant to certain things that happen, if that makes sense. And it's like this we're too busy mindset, this like I'm going somewhere mindset. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes when you're going to work and it's like, oh, for goodness sakes, the train's been delayed, somebody's jumped on somebody's killed themselves, it's like, what kind of dehumanizing? It's like someone's actually killed it, like a whole
That's
entire family has been shattered because someone's decided to take their life. And to me, suicide is the saddest of things in the world.
And I literally, the elderly man, bless him, said, I'll go home, like, I'll look after, it's fine. That same train that came, I got in that train, the door shut, and I literally cried the whole way home.
Oh my God.
I was literally sobbing. It makes me emotional. I was literally sobbing the whole way home because I think you're in just such this dark place that you think that no one's around you. Whether you're a man or woman, we're all experiencing
that
maybe
the world
this
will
at
be
one
better off
point.
without you.
Exactly. And then it completely changed my outlook on life. That's what made me want to turn around and try and help people, and it made me take mental health so much more seriously, is that everyone's actually suffering from it. You're not on your own.
So to
when
have
I see
someone see
that,
it's like an insult to like the shit that people are going through. It's just rude.
I don't know how she meant it, but I'll just say
I don't think she meant it in a nice way.
Of other people.
There's no way that you can say that and meant it from a good place. There's no way.
I don't think she meant it from a good place.
I think she's saying it in a way that, like, I can't remember how she's explaining it, in the sense that women shouldn't be there to help men with all their situations.
Why
need to
not?
be able to deal with your own situations.
Why not?
I know, yeah.
But
the point of women not necessarily being men's like
saviors,
testers and saviors. I understand that because we have been brought up in a society where women are taught and socialized to be so self-aware and to like tend to men's needs and stuff like that, but that's besides the point.
But did we forget about that quote that says, be the change that you want to see in the world? Like, I know it sounds so fucking cheesy when you actually hear it, be the change that you want. I'm so done. You there? Remember that time when the guy came, you know what time? When we was walking and the guy came to ask for change.
Some guy, he came and asked me for change, and I was like, be the change that you want to see. I'm so sorry, but I had no change.
No, that was
this
playing at the back of
contactless
my
London,
mind.
just carry your Barclays. It's actually bad. I'm gonna start taking keeping change on me just in case, because I swear I never have change, and I just feel like God's looking at me like, sis,
you know,
sure. We're supposed to be like the leaders of today. Like, even if you look at, like, have you heard of Malala, the activist?
Yes, the Indian.
Pakistani, I think.
yeah.
She basically
she got assaulted.
Yeah, no, she got shot in the head.
Oh, shot in the head.
Yeah.
Well, assaulted's a word. She got shot in the head because she was
dead.
No,
the Taliban planned.
Oh my God.
That's
the
how
Taliban
she's been
planned
touring
for
the
her to
world
get
since.
killed, and she actually survived the gunshot.
Wow.
And she's a massive activist. She's won Nobel Prize. She's literally, I'd love to meet her and shake her hand because I think she's just so amazing. Just give her a hug. And she's just an activist, and she promotes education for. Yeah, I know. She promotes education for everyone.
Yeah.
She wants like girls to be able to have an easy education, because obviously for females it's a lot harder in countries like Pakistan or wherever it may be, even from where I'm from. But yeah, she just is pushing a movement, and she's what I see as a feminist and an activist that's pushing change and making a change for society. That's actually
because I don't feel like feminist means hating men. I feel like when I say be the change that you want to see in the world, it's just sort of like, you know, like if you like everything that we've learned as humans, like, it's not always good. The things that the way that we've grown up, and so
unlearn trauma.
you have to unlearn
part of life.
So I feel like for us to even be able to put other people in that position, we have to use the platforms that we have to do that. So it's kind of like you can't expect people
are not in that place of self-awareness and understanding.
So you can't expect people to be like, oh yeah, you know, men can get there by themselves. What if they don't know? What if like they've never heard anything for them that will make them change the way that they think? What if for them it's just sort of like, oh, that's just the way that I've grown up, that's just the way that I've been, and they haven't even been shown love. Like, I'm not saying save everybody, but I feel like in the way that we carry ourselves and the things that we do, we can you know, bring forth change to people. The same way that you went out and you helped that lady, if you didn't help that lady, she's gonna think back to that like, raw, someone actually risked their own life to come and save me. Do you know what I mean? So I don't feel like, you know, we should just expect like people even men just to do everything by themselves. I don't know, like, I don't know if I'm even wording this properly, but I hope somebody understands what I'm saying.
They get it, girl.
No, but even like even when the craziest thing, because I was thinking about what I'm even going to talk about today, the maddest thing is toxic femininity actually exists.
It's true.
And it's so crazy to say. I've had more toxic femininity in my life from other people than I have like male.
What certain things that embody toxic femininity?
Like,
because I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like with especially like being in music, I've had girls that are just.
Oh, you sing?
Oh no, like I do DJ and radio. And
oh, that's really good. Yeah. Shout out to you.
Yeah, thanks.
How do you know that?
Because we literally just met
yesterday. Just girls that claim to be all these like female bosses, and really their hidden agendas just to put girls down and just like competitive completely. When it comes to culture as well.
I know so many. Oh, let me not
even especially in fashion and like the music world, it's
I feel like
it's those ones that say that
being friends from Instagram is very miraculous.
What do you mean?
Because I feel like there's so much like image fake stuff, people that just, I don't know, like I just feel like there's so much fake. Even for me, from my experience with when I used to proper want to grow on YouTube, and that was like I wanted to be a big YouTuber. But
what, do I seem like a fake person?
No. I'm saying like the fact that me and you kind of like formed this like genuine friendship and partnership, not bitchy. And not to say like.
But I kind of knew. I feel like I'm really good on. Actually, let me not lie. Whoa,
we all get it wrong sometimes.
I got it wrong several times. Actually, let me not lie. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes with people, like I can feel the energy. Like that would make me want to even like. Oh yeah, I can actually be friends with that person. Yeah. There's people that I'll meet. You have a bond. Oh yeah. Shout out to Brinny Lee, because what I'm saying right now, if have you watched her video about spotting fake friendship? She was actually, you should watch it. I feel like she's the older version of me. Like that's my big sister. But anyways, I actually I genuinely love her. But she was literally saying this, like there's some people that you have like there's 3 type of connections with. The first one I didn't get so much because I don't feel like I could relate to that. But everything else, like it's like you have certain bonds. Some people are like plug sockets. You can connect, but like the bond, so it's not a deep strong bond that like you can click with them. But like the smallest minus of error, if you trip over a plug, you can unplug it and all of a sudden any fizzle. Do you get it? Like yeah, so she was basically talking about that, and I feel like anyway, watch that video.
I feel like watch Riley's video on
no, honestly, if you watch it you will understand it. But
I want to hear more about you. So I'm sorry guys, we literally said hi, my name is Sunflower. We want to support every woman that's out there doing positive things for the community, but we're not gonna give her all of our airtime,
honestly.
Not that, no shade, she's booked and busy anyway, she don't need it, but
it's not about being booked and busy. I mind.
I know, but like I just don't even want to spend this whole episode.
I feel like she talking about I feel like she deserves to know that people are outraged by this. I don't care if
she was in the Daily Mail, I think she knows.
But it's not
it's not enough.
Tweet, even like the other stuff that she said as well.
Yeah, it's like she's just I don't know. Anyway,
so, toxic femininity. I'm gonna Google this. Please introduce us.
Let's Google the term first,
because I feel
let's see what you guys find.
I feel very intrigued by that term. I feel like toxic femininity. Where are you from, by the way? Your origin?
Libya, North Africa.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, as far as being African, Middle Eastern women, all of that, it's one of them ones where.
How the hell did my laptop connect to the Wi-Fi?
Maybe because your phone did. That did that at my cousin's house this weekend. Like,
that is so strange.
Toxic femininity. What do you guys have? I have.
Got loads of articles actually.
This is too much. This is overwhelming. Toxic femininity is a term used by men's right advocacy activists to construct a false equivalence between toxic masculinity, a manifestation. Oh, okay, so this is.
I think they're both real things.
I think they're both real things. I don't know that they're both as equivalent, but they're both real things.
They're both
because men have the male privilege that women will never have, so they can never be equal.
I feel like quite a few men are toxic as well.
Quite a few, babe.
But even people disregard the fact that there are so many toxic women, and I'm even talking like within my culture as well, when it's to do with like marriages, and you've got the horrible mother-in-law, or the horrible like sister-in-law and stuff. I've seen it in my own family. I've seen it in like across like so many, as well. And I think you see it a lot in mainly like African, Asian, Arab cultures. And that's what just made me just think.
Well, we recognize it in those
yeah,
cultures.
we recognize it.
It's probably in others too, but I don't recognize that because I don't know it.
Yeah, so there's trash men, but there's very much trash women.
Yeah.
I'll forever preach that. No
Yeah,
one's
there
perfect.
is.
I just feel like toxic femininity is like women putting other women down for certain approval. You ever seen like pictures of like or tweets or Instagram posts of girls like quote tweeting other girls with like before and after makeups? Like, oh my gosh, like that's way too. What are you doing? Like, she's minding her business doing her makeup. What are you actually doing? Like, her skin has nothing to do with you. Or like when, I don't know, those aunties that will be asking you about marriage and bride price and telling you need to learn how to cook, nobody will marry you.
Oh, don't.
I don't even know if that's toxic femininity or if that's just them being trash, full stop,
I think
period.
it's like toxic in the sense that it makes you think that's what it takes to be a woman. Like all these kind of attributes associated to it. And like even...
Like you have to be a certain way.
Yeah, and
I
when
think my
he
whole
doesn't
life
need to.
dealing with like, not dealing, I guess, but like maybe if, I don't know, this is a question, like me always being told, like always seeing like
I've
young,
got something.
like always seeing like real women. It's so mad how all my life it was so cool to be skinny, like the models, it was like the era, like early 2000, like stick thin. But I'm a black woman and I've always lived in the black community, and it's never been cool for me to be skinny. I've never reaped from that privilege.
Same with me being North African. Like,
that's a lie. I have
reaped
reaped from the privilege of being able to go online and shop for clothes and seeing people my size modeling them. There are privileges, and I'm not sitting here saying that I have the struggle that big women have, because I don't. But that I feel like women telling me I'm not womanly enough, or like certain things like that. Do you think that falls under that bracket?
I think toxic femininity. Sorry.
No, go on. Yeah, no.
I think toxic femininity is when women feel that it's okay for them to do certain things because they're women, like abusive women, women who will like I was watching this thing, this woman was literally abusing her husband, and I feel like it's also in the way that we're raised, like because a man is stronger than you feel like if you hit him it's okay, but it's not. And I feel like this is the same way that certain men have to unlearn things, certain women have to unlearn things as well. And I feel like it's like if you're not told about this, you might behave that way and you might see it as a norm because you think that he's stronger than me anyways, so even if I do this, like what's he gonna do to him? Like it's okay. Women hyping up like violent behavior. Oh, I'm gonna fight this girl, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna I think that's toxic femininity, because I feel like women feel like they can get away with certain crimes because they're women. People look at women, like say if a woman was to kill someone, there could be loads of people in a room, but they wouldn't look at the woman as the potential killer because there's men in the room. But some women are evil. Do you get what I mean?
If you see some of the horror stories that you hear, like even like with feral children and stuff, like the way that some women even treat their own kids, it's just like
it's nuts.
It's trash. It's trash as hell. But it's
Is it not working?
There we are. We're back in business.
Yeah.
It's because even then when you look at these people, it's like they've actually, when you look deep into like even serial killers and stuff, because I always watch documentaries on it.
Same.
I thought I was the only one.
I love it. I'll literally sit for
They're
ages
a
on
bit
Netflix.
scary though, but I'm like,
I watch them in a day.
My dad gets concerned.
I watch them in a day.
in the daytime.
Watch them in a day.
But then when you look at some of these people, like whether they're male or female, a lot of them, they do actually have hidden traumas from their past that their parents have actually done to them as well.
Always.
So yeah, I don't know. It's just
There's a lot of messed up things.
Boy.
In this world. It's a bit mad.
I don't know. I just feel like it all does come down to like. Anyway,
I feel like we just all as people just need to be more accountable. I feel like that's
ourselves.
I feel like that's
people
what
are
it comes down
not,
to.
and that's why all these wars are happening and all these people are dying and stuff, because people don't care about other people. They do things and they don't care about other people. These rich families in Africa and Asia and in the UK. Got a background to my speech. Go on, sis. These rich families are making racks, and to be honest with you, it's even what I put on my Instagram story today, because one of my friends, his at is like Pappy Meek, or I don't know how you describe it, but he has this charity called One Heart World, and he's like a 20-something-year-old young guy. He goes and collects clothes, flies to, I think it's Uganda, and delivers the clothes himself. Has built a social media page, and I think he's based in Croydon, and he's driving around.
Why don't we hear more about people like this
and
on
it's
social
like
media?
he put on his story like, you people think that pollution or the politicians are going to kill this planet. It's not. It's us that stand by and do nothing. Like, we don't actually do much. I don't think we do that. Even me, I don't think I do that much. Like literally last Christmas, my friend offered, she was looking for people to sing at this homeless shelter. So I was like, oh, why not? Like I miss singing. I used to do music. I miss singing. I'll sing. I sang and it was just so beautiful and everyone was jumping in and people was loving the Bob Marley and whatever. It was like a whole band of us. And then she asked me to do it again one more time, and then because they get moved around different church halls, so they weren't going to be in that church hall anymore, so they weren't going to need me anymore. And I just thought to myself, like, I haven't done anything like this in so long, and I feel like sometimes, like, this is really controversial, but sometimes I build up this anxiety in my head, and I heard this at a sermon, because I think I'm thinking about myself too much. I'm thinking about my life too much and how's this going to affect me too much. And mind you, everything that I want to do and everything I want to build is for my family to reap the benefits, my mum to be good, my sister to be good, my brothers to be good, all of that. But in reality, it's like you're actually thinking about yourself way too much. Like, true, I feel like sometimes we need to think, like, about if you 7 days a week you only do things for you, I feel like there's a problem for 100. You and your immediate family and friends. I feel like we shouldn't. I feel like we should lend our time, lend our money to causes that are beyond us. And I feel like I've gotten to a place, especially now that post-grad, where I'm thinking about my career and all the things I've got to do, and I freelance, so I've got to be on it, because otherwise I'm not eating. Right now I'm not eating, so last month I was slacking, but it's like I've really been thinking about myself a lot, and I've not really been doing anything for others apart from that. And I just feel like we need to really do more. And I'm gonna leave his @ below if you want to, if you have spare clothes that you want to send out and whatever. But I just feel like we're selfish. We're really selfish.
We are.
I mean, there's bashing ourselves right now. I'm sorry, guys.
I mean, there's another guy called Reid Khan who's like my G. Big up.
Big up.
He does a charity called Road to Freedom, so he helps refugees that have come from Syria and all these countries that have been affected by war and whatnot. I've actually gone to his house. I mean, he actually travels to France to actually give food packages and stuff like that. Okay. So I've actually gone to his house before and had a group of people. We've all gone in little stations and done tea bags, send the bag, put sugar, put another thing,
like in a factory,
these kind of things. Yeah, basically do a factory thing until we've done hundreds and hundreds of bags. And he actually asked me to come down to France so you can actually give it to the refugees and actually meet these people and speak to them. And he actually he does events as well. Okay. If you ever want to hear it, Road to Freedom, check it out.
Road to Freedom. His Instagram link below.
The last one he did was in memory of Cadet. So it was a really nice one. I wasn't able to go, but yeah.
That's shout big up.
There actually are people who are doing amazing things. And they don't get enough attention.
And he's a guy. Yeah, there are guys that are doing good things,
and it's rare sometimes to see that, because some guy. Actually, let me not be shady. Anyways,
she thought about up there. She's like, wait, it's rare sometimes. That one guy.
Let me not be shady.
But I want to hear more about your story and your experience with mental health. Or as much as you want to share, or anything that's on your heart that you want to.
Yeah, if there's something that you feel like we need to know, not even us here, but I feel like we all come from something, and we all have a message, what makes you who you are, what motivates you to do the things that you do. We have our own motivations for being here, and obviously one of that, through that motivation, is brought you here. Do you get what I mean? So it's what keeps you going?
I mean, I'm Libyan.
Excuse Sagesse and her rude name.
Like I said before, I'm Libyan, and we've had a civil war in the last 10 years. Where I've actually had family members of mine that I haven't met before, but that are family close to my dad or whatever it may be, that actually died in the war and stuff. Oh, wow. And they're still actually facing the problems of it now. You'll queue up in a queue for weeks at the bank, and they won't even give you any money because they're saying there's no money in the bank. They haven't got money to be able to go to the shop to get bread for their 6 kids and stuff like that.
That's crazy, man.
To this day,
my cousin was doing an exam, and they had to take their phones into the exam because all the electricity cut out, and they're sitting there. There's a picture, all of them just holding a phone with their camera light just shining onto the exam paper, and them doing their exam.
Oh my God.
That's how some of the conditions are. So I mean, obviously you heard about the whole slave situation that happened in Libya. Yeah. And then I did a massive rant, and this is where I kind of found my voice last year, because obviously it was slave trade in Libya, and it's something that I even asked my dad, who's like, have you ever heard of this before? He said no, it's not something that...
Oh, for real?
Because he's in my country, I've always been brought up to love black people, love all our community. So even to hear that there was even some kind of racism happening, I was quite baffled about it. And I just did a big rant saying that obviously we need to care about this whole slave trade situation, but I was more annoyed at the fact that because it became such a hype in that moment,
It died.
People,
And no
it
one cared
died, and they're
anymore.
like, yeah, let's go to this march. And I'm thinking, do you not even know that India's got the highest population of slaves in the world right now? And I'm talking like
Really?
millions, yeah. You've got like Europeans, Eastern Europeans that are currently in the slave trade. In Greece, they actually kidnap kids to go and put them into the slave trade that are victims.
Human trafficking
Oh,
is
I'm
real,
sure.
guys.
From human traffic,
I
yeah.
swear to God.
And
you
these
need
are
to be
people that have
careful
fled
in
from
these
war,
pubs
like
and
Syria and
clubs.
stuff like that. So that's why I did this massive rant, and then Georgia Smith reposted it, and then a girl from America from Fifth Harmony, she's got millions of followers, she reposted it. Had like tens and thousands of people, like hundreds of people messaging me saying, oh my God, this is amazing. Because I just did a
Keep
massive
doing what
rant.
you're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
like,
honestly, I wouldn't have found you if you wasn't doing what you was doing. No, seriously, you know, like sometimes you'll look at people and people will look at you like you're mad for being so passionate and having your voice and actually using it. So I just...
No, but sometimes I feel like my rants can be annoying, but then it's like I want people. I had so many young girls. I had people from like Yugoslavia, Russia, like messaging me saying that I want you to be able to talk more about these things that happen in the world because I don't even know about it. And my rant was mainly across the fact like there's slave in the Ivory Coast. Why is it that we have to let something get to such a pivotal moment? Say, yeah, let's stop slave trade when this has still been happening for decades. This is happening for centuries.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's not
Like it
like
never really stopped. Did it?
yeah,
crazy,
don't let
innit?
it just live in the moment. And now who's even talking about the slave trade in Libya now? Who's even
It just
going
dies.
to stop
It's just
it?
like a little hype, and
Do you
then
know
it
what?
just...
this is-
Sometimes,
yeah.
and this is me playing devil's advocate, but sometimes you just feel so overwhelmed by all the negativity in the world.
You just want to
That
live in
you're
a
just
bubble.
like, okay.
And you don't want to watch the news.
Yeah.
And you just think if I hear all these
I feel like
things,
I've been like that. I'm not gonna lie.
I
And
feel
it's
like
really
this is how I
bad
am now.
but it's just like you don't want to like
Overwhelm yourself.
yeah.
Because I feel like as someone who's like at a point in my life, my anxiety was very severe and I was very easily triggered. And I remember like, I think it was summer 16 or something, where obviously police brutality has been ongoing. It's literally a ball game for them. It's been a ball game since when they stole us from Africa and slapped us in the US. But well, slapped them in the US. But like that specific summer where all that stuff popped off, like all the Trayvon Martin stuff popped off, like that was a very dark summer for me because I was on Twitter heavy and every day it was like, I think a lot of people would find their voice and it was like issues that had happened in the past and present, things were popping up and it was like videos non-stop, people getting shot, dads getting shot, sons getting shot
on Facebook
and I just, it filled me with so much sorrow. And I already, that aside, like I've always had anxiety my whole life. Well, as long as, I don't know when you start to learn these things. So when I start to learn it at 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, I've always dealt with that and I didn't realize what it was and didn't have a name for it. But that summer was bad. And I remember like my brother coming home from like playing football with his mates and I'm like, I need to talk to you. And like and I just start to weep and hyperventilate and tell him to be careful. From watching all that stuff, it had me feeling like he wasn't safe. Like, and not to say this doesn't happen in the UK, but all the stuff I was watching was definitely in the US, but it literally like really overwhelmed me and it really messed me with me to the point where today I have to scroll straight past because I don't know how I'll help where I can. Like I'll buy whatever t-shirt goes towards the cause. Like send me the GoFundMe, whatever. But I can't watch that stuff anymore because it really does play with me. So sometimes it feels like there's so much negativity going on. Like I can't be bothered. And I feel like a lot of people can relate. It's like, well, where do I start? Where do you start with helping?
The world's such
it's
a big
actually
place.
mad.
Yeah.
Like it's just actually crazy. Like what do we do? I feel like we just need to pray more as people.
Let's start with that.
No, seriously,
Good old prayer.
I feel like we just need to pray more because like we're not safe. We're never safe. Like anything can happen to us at any time. And for me, like I don't know, just from the way that I've been brought up anyway, my mom always tells me, before you leave the house, make sure you pray. Before you go here, make sure you pray. And I feel like that's the only thing that can keep me safe because sometimes when you think about, you could have been in the same place where something happened to someone else but you were safe. That's not me. That's not because I'm special, but that's God's grace. Like that's just literally how I see it. So for me, it's like all these bad things that are going, none of us are safe. We can only do the bare minimum, as much with all the big hearts that we have and all the activists in the world. Not all the we can't save everybody, we can't save everything, but like there's someone that has created us and there's someone that's bigger than us, you know, that sees everything. And the only thing that we can do is pray for forgiveness, you know, pray to be safe. Like just pray, like having a life where you're a prayerful life will literally keep you you know, safe, like in so many ways. And it's so underrated because I feel like when I start talking about these things, people are like, here we go again.
No.
And I don't like to come here and be like the pastor, because I'm not perfect. And sometimes I avoid talking about God because people look at me, but you do this. I'm telling you, like, I'm not perfect. But the one of the reasons why I go to God is because I'm not perfect. And there's a lot of things that I can't do by myself. And I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for God. So I'm never going to stop praising God in what I do, because that's
praise the Lord. What are you doing?
Literally the only way. So I'll just advise everyone, have a prayerful life. Like, if you want to be safe in this world, there's nothing that can keep you safer than God. Your mum can't keep you safe. I'll let you chat to your brother. No, it's true. But you turn to your brother and be like, oh yeah, be safe. You can tell him to be careful. You can go. Something can go out. Something can happen. But if he's covered by the blood, whatever religion that you believe in, like, you know, not everybody's a Christian, but this is just for me. So if you're a Christian and you can relate, he goes out and he's covered by the blood. Trust me, the same way that he left the house is the same way that he'll come back home.
But I feel like that's a bit of a sticky one to say too, because sometimes people, it's their time to go.
Yeah, but that's different.
It's their time to go.
When it's your time to go, it's your time to go. But you know, like, there's certain things, like there's certain prayers that you can pray. God, don't take me before my time. God has ears.
Yeah.
So we can't say that. We can't sit here and say when it's their time to go. So we look at things from an outsider's perspective. We're looking at other people when it's their time to go. How do you know that it was their time
How
to
do
go?
you know? That's the thing, is we don't know. All we can
know.
do is, one, definitely prepare ourselves and cover ourselves in prayer everywhere we go and in everything we do. But in reality, like, I think something that, I don't know if this applies in Islam, but in Christianity, we've kind of told ourselves that God doesn't want us to, like, suffer or ever be sad or ever experience sorrow. This is not from God. It's not to say it's from him, but sometimes it's just what we've got to go through.
Yeah,
it's just what we've got. Like, I've got a friend who she just lost her father, and it's like, it's just what she's got to go through, and one day that's going to be me.
it happens.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a part of life.
And it's like, also, in order, like, in what I was saying, even though sometimes I do feel overwhelmed and I feel like, where do I start? Like, I feel like the people who have had an impact in this world have been the people with the mindset with, okay, I'll start here, instead of just being paralyzed and overwhelmed. Do you know what I mean? So that's why we felt it important. I felt important to shout out this guy, and you felt important to shout out your friend, because it's like, they've actually started something beyond just praying, saying, keep me and my family safe. Go out and do something, because it's like, we need to actually
prayer
do
without
stuff.
works is dead.
It's dead. No,
So
it's very
you
dead.
have to have the actions to go hand in hand with it.
No.
I just got really passionate.
No, don't be silly. No. Because I was even
Better
about
preach
to
it.
say something along the same lines. Because even, like, with the whole knife crime situation that's happening in London now, we've had like 4 kids that have died in the past week. I don't know if you've seen that whole, I think it's called a vigilante, someone that goes to help.
Yeah,
basically, the
I
guy
actually
that's gone
was
and
gonna-
taken the
that's the
knives
guy I
off
was gonna
people.
contact.
Oh yeah, that's sorry.
Yeah, so he's obviously taken knives off of people and giving them vouchers instead, and he's
bless
went on
him.
Good
JD
Morning
vouchers and stuff.
Yeah,
He's
no,
doing
exactly,
amazing.
and it's people
Shout
like
out to
them.
you.
Yeah, exactly. It's people like them that are actually, like,
Making
going
a
out and
difference.
making an impact, because even, I don't know if you saw that Alex Beresford guy, the weatherman, who was he wasn't really supposed to be part of the talk on the TV show.
I saw that, yeah.
That,
And he
yeah.
kind of spoke out.
Yeah. So the camera was aimed at, like, some police commissioner guy.
You're
saying
really good
that-
with names. I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
I'll
Do
be
you
like,
know
the
what?
guy with
I'm
the
good with
the guy with the
faces.
knives, the guy from the
weatherman.
weather. Like, I'm not good with names.
Yeah, and even I was watching this police guy saying that, we need to build more prisons. And the Alex guy jumped in saying, we don't need to build more prisons. I've grown up with these young guys that they don't care about going to prison. And even I was thinking to myself, how can you go and be building more prisons to prepare yourself for people that are going to go commit these crimes, to throw them in there? Why are we not thinking of ways to actually prevent them from doing these
committing
things?
the crimes.
So we don't even need to go and make more prisons, and we don't need to keep filling up with people.
See,
Do you know what I mean?
you heard it here for free, right? To stop being stupid, right? Build more prisons. How's that working out in the US, building more prisons?
Honestly.
And it's costing more
Honestly.
than to help someone get a grip,
I
get
feel
them
really
counselling, get them
inspired right
rehab.
now.
It's cheaper than to actually keep someone in prison for years and years.
And for black people, it's the worst right now,
Oh my
because
goodness.
they're getting nicked for the most
the dumbest
pettiest of
things, getting
crimes.
life sentences for selling weed.
And some white people are going and committing murders. And
No, I don't know if
killing
this is
kids.
fake news, but some lady who hung kids in her nursery or something.
Whoa.
Oh, I think I had something.
Did you see that?
I think something along the
Why
lines
do,
of
what
that.
do you guys see? Like, what am
I don't know.
missing?
That's why I say I don't know if it's fake news, because Twitter sometimes people are.
I don't
wilding
believe.
But no, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I feel really inspired right now. Like hearing like all the stuff that you've had to say, it really does make me feel like, okay, I need to be doing something more like with myself, like in the sense of like find a cause that you're passionate about and do something about it.
For sure.
Because it's so easy for us to say that, oh, okay, we'll expect the activists that are already there, but in a way we should all be an activist about something, about a certain cause. And I feel like if more people were like that, whatever you believed in, whether it's animals, you know, homeless people, just something that you like, something that's that
a lot more would get done.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like we'd have a lot less problems in this world if people actually cared about other people. Like if we genuinely cared to the point where it's like, oh, okay, cool, I've seen this happen, it's a problem for me, maybe I can't do everything, I can do this. And I feel like, you know, moving forward, I'm actually going to do something because because I genuinely feel so inspired. And I feel like, you know, the whole thing of being the change that you want to see in the world, like we have to be the change makers in our society. Like we can't sit back and wait and be like, oh yeah, someone who's famous and someone who has money, people have started things with no money and they've made a difference to people. So we have to really take ownership and, you know, start making movements like the guy with the knives, taking knives. He's doing something to people that might not even be like that big, or like don't look at things and think that, oh yeah, I want to be famous for this, but just genuinely want to change things. Like you don't have to you don't even have to gain anything from it, but just going out and doing something and making a difference and seeing change, that should be good enough. And I feel like that's good enough for me. I'm gonna find my thing and I'm gonna work on that because I'm so inspired right now. Thank you, like honestly. No,
Thank
seriously.
you. You're amazing. Why are you not doing that? Why is it not to say that people who get paid £1 million per episode shouldn't help people out, but you don't know how they're not paying all their family's bills or what they're doing in their community. Like people are so quick to what's that verse in the Bible, to like look at the needle in someone else's eye instead of yours. I don't know, but it's basically it basically means like you're checking for other people's problems. Check yourself. Like check yourself. And also, for me, what I've come to understand, this verse in the Bible, listen guys, please, everyone is welcome here, but like it is better to receive than to give. Like I genuinely believe that with all my heart, because with anything that I've it's better to give than to receive.
Yeah.
I was a bit confused.
So I was saying and I was thinking about, is this it?
My bad. That's how my heart really feels. No, it's better to give than to receive, because it's like every time I've got something or I've done something, like I've gone on like the maddest holidays, I don't know, I've actually, when you sit down and think about it, as young privileged Westerners, we have decent lives. I've had quite a fun life. I've done fun things. I've been to really cool places. Do you know what I mean? As much as I complain sometimes, like, I don't think it's like, it's not that bad. Do you know what I mean? But anytime I've done or given, like, it's just felt so good. And especially my time, especially that volunteering that I did, like, that made me feel like so amazing. And not even like for my ego to feel like I'm a good person to put it on social media. It just made me feel like, wow, like God's given me a gift and I've gone and like used it to bring someone else joy. Like that's just, it makes you feel amazing.
And another thing about the whole giving, you know, thing that we're talking about here, I just want to give a big massive shout out to the lady, what's her name?
See how we're bad with names?
I'm
the same.
Fuck, how do I not know her name? 1 second. She's the lady that started House of CB.
Connor Walker.
Yeah. Connor Walker. I just want to
give I know that name.
I know, like when I go on I know who she is. Like, I just want to give a big shout out to Connor Walker, because this was exactly like when I remember the International Women's Day post that I made about the lady. She won 10k, and with the 10k she helped other women out. You know, to other people it might not be a big deal, and you know, like I was blown away when I seen Connor Walker do, because I know for a fact she has not seen my post. So for her to go out and do something like that, that's just like what being a change maker is about.
For sure.
You getting an opportunity and giving an opportunity to other people. So I just want to say a big shout out to her, because we should all aspire to be like that.
For sure.
Too many people, they get to a certain position and they're like, meh.
Yeah. And I feel like sorry,
go on. And
I feel like shout out to all the women that are doing that in big and small ways.
Yeah.
Because like a woman gave me an opportunity, gave me a shot. Do you know what I mean? Like to be like a journalist or whatever, and in a very high position in this industry. And she gave me 15, 20 minutes of her time, and she pulled out her phone and said, okay, let's get you a job. And I've got connections with this company. Let's just get you your foot in the door.
Oh, wow.
A white woman, she don't know me from nowhere. Well, obviously I did a project for her department, and that's how she knows my face. And it's like so many people are doing that. And I think I think it was a makeup artist. I literally stalk all her like Instagram because she's such a good makeup artist, but I forgot her name. But she gave a shout out to Aubrey from the Receipts podcast, because she was saying Aubrey's always supporting people, retweeting people, giving them a shout out. Like,
I think I saw you retweeting.
Yeah, and it's like this Aubrey from the Receipts podcast, if you ever hear this, like she's always online retweeting someone, supporting someone, shouting them out. And it's like so many women are doing this.
And
it's
it's
so
free.
amazing.
It's
and
actually free to support people.
And it just shows you're so secure in yourself and in your craft and in your artistry, because you're just so confident enough to not feel threatened.
Yeah.
And to put someone on. And I just think that's beautiful. So shout out to everyone doing that.
Because even when you're talking about the whole privilege thing, I don't want to keep talking about like the slumflower girl or whatever.
No. It
but
is what it is.
she said something, a tweet like, what did she say? She said something like, a white woman came to me crying, telling me she agrees with my views, but some young men have it so hard. Until young men are being married off at the age of 6 and having acid thrown in their faces for declining sexual advances,
I saw that.
you can't change my mind. Being Arab and being, what countries are you from?
Congolese.
Okay, cool. Whether you're African, Asian, this happens in our community so much.
Yeah.
The fact that she turned around and said, a white woman approached me, I thought that was a bit of a problem from the beginning as well, because you're already trying to make a racial divide in your tweet already. And then you're saying the fact that until men are being married off at the age of 6 and whatever it may be, you're using a victim's situation that can only mainly be associated with women to turn around and say that men don't have it so hard. You can't turn around and compare.
It's unfair to say that.
Yeah, and being Arab as well, that probably triggered me the most, because I've got families that have been married off at a ridiculously young age in the past or whatever it may be. There's forced marriages, acid attacks happen in this country, whatever it may be. Ooh. You can't turn around and use someone else's victim situation victim situation to push your agenda to hate towards men. These are victims that they have a voice, but they're not being heard. For sure. You can't turn around and say, oh yeah, well, men don't have it hard because all these things are happening. Well, men do have it hard because they are still going through domestic violence. They are still being murdered. They are still going through homelessness. They are still going through suicide. It can't just be narrowed down to just gender. And like I said, you can't compare victim situations to push your own agenda. It's wrong.
I feel like a lot of people try to downplay people's pain.
And that's the privilege that she's using. The fact she has followers to push that agenda.
How is that productive to women?
It's actually not.
Let's just think about her being a activist for, how does that statement, how is that productive to women, to progress for women?
It's actually
anywhere.
Let's push change. Let's support all the gal them and the man them.
Honestly, big up Shadira. Come on here if you want to have a chat.
Please, we'll have a talk. I'm ready. I'm actually ready to have a talk.
Because we actually want to understand.
Because I don't get it.
I don't even want to
make it make sense. Make it.
Because we don't understand.
Make it make sense. But we just want to give a shout out to this beautiful soul that we have right here, who graced us with her presence, gave us precious time. She was here early. I was late. It's because of a late train. It's not my fault. But thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You. You'll definitely be back. I don't care.
Yeah, for real. Honestly,
that's fine. I mean,
more people like you. Thank you.
All the way from Essex, we'll come and fetch you, and you'll come back.
Thank you.
But
this was a great episode.
It was a bit deep and dark at times, guys. But I hope that you got the
gist of what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Because this is all about just making the world a better place. Like, we're so cheesy like that, but literally, like, that's what we aim to do with every episode, even if it's just a laugh. And today it wasn't just a laugh, it was deep talk.
About really important issues that need to be cared about.
It's important. It's not always about kiki and tea. Sometimes we need to talk about real shit.
For real.
But yeah, so it's been the Talk That Talk podcast. It's been me.
Thank you for tuning
Arlen,
in.
Theresa.
Okay, see you guys next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. We always do